It sucks.
Are you joking?
It's bad.
It's terrible.
You suck. You suck.
Just talking nonsense. It's stupid.
So why did you say yes to doing this show?
Because it's you.
Yeah.
Like, guys, you don't got to do this. Please, I'm begging you to stop.
You just can't keep faking it. It's too hard.
What if everything you thought you knew about Meghan Markle was a carefully constructed illusion? The polished speeches, the tearful interviews, the royal rebellion, was it all just a role? Behind the curated photos and emotional podcast moments lies a storm of deleted footage, vanished rumors, and allegations no one in the palace wants to talk about. From yacht party whispers to a legal firestorm that could cost millions, Meghan's story has more layers than anyone expected. But it's the part she never wanted exposed that just might change everything.
That's why a lot of these celebrities that start these things, they can't keep up. You know, like the Meghan Markles.
But you're the same.
You're the same.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
When Meghan Markle appeared on a recent podcast, she promised vulnerability, honesty, and unfiltered emotion. What viewers got instead was a performance that felt just a little too perfect. Meghan appeared to choke up, dabbing her eyes while talking about the pressure she faces as a public figure. But there was one glaring problem. There were no actual tears, just a practiced expression, the kind that belongs more on a film set than in a heartfelt confession.
Here's an email that I've been keeping for you.
I have full body chills right now.
This is why it's so nice to not have makeup on. Thank you. Yeah.
That is so beautiful.
No.
And she also is pretending like she's crying. We zoomed in just to see. There isn't a tear in sight. Dan, look at this. I invite the viewers to take a close-up look at this. Where's the tear?
It didn't take long for the internet to catch on. A resurfaced clip from years ago showed Meghan laughing as she demonstrated how easily she could cry on command. "Give me 3 seconds," she joked. Left eye, 1 tear.
We're at Soho House, Toronto, which is basically TIG headquarters for me. I write my stories here, I take my meetings here, and it's kind of amazing because all over the world, if I'm traveling, Soho House can still be home base.
Now make yourself cry. Oh, I do that so well. Oh my God, it's crazy. You're like, Meghan, 1 tear, left eye, go. Give me 3 seconds.
That clip alone sent social media into a frenzy. Critics compared it side by side with the podcast moment. And suddenly, the emotional breakdown looked a lot more like a rehearsed scene. Then came the analysis. Body language expert Scott Rouse pointed out her unusual blinking patterns, mismatched facial expressions, and a strange calmness in her body while her voice trembled. According to Rouse, this disconnect between words and physical emotion is often a red flag. Was Meghan truly opening up, or just slipping into character?
Do you think you'll be married forever?
Yes.
I have a letter.
He's also a fox. If you haven't noticed, my husband's very, very handsome. But his heart is even more beautiful.
Something's up here. See that little shoulder shrug when she said yes?
Yes, yes.
Did you hear how high her voice was when she said yes?
Yes.
When we're stressed, our larynx closes up a little bit and our voice tone gets a little bit higher. That's why the pitch of the S is so high.
The whispers of deception started growing louder, but as more people questioned her authenticity, a different story began to resurface. One from long before the royal wedding, from a world far removed from tiaras and Netflix deals.
A lot of people, Meghan Markle was also in the Soho House. They said that she was a girl that was hired to walk VIPs and fill out the red carpets and stuff like that, you know.
They hope to become actresses. They hope to become any type of celebrity, and they will do anything.
And it seems like that lady is a temptress. She's a siren. She's lured him into the rocks.
You know, they start their way up. They latch on to the first rich guy or famous guy they get that they meet at the Playboy Mansion. This is their exit strategy. I'm going to marry this man, and he's going to take care of me the rest of my life.
You know, I mean, she used to be on Deal or No Deal.
And now,
yeah, look, she was on Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with a briefcase.
She didn't like being objectified on Deal. And did you think it was an executive position, ma'am?
Before she became the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle's past was already the subject of quiet whispers, the kind of rumors that don't make headlines, because they're too messy, too speculative, and too closely tied to names that powerful, people would rather not mention. But in online corners and private conversations, the term yacht girl kept surfacing. It refers to a controversial world, one where attractive young women are hired to attend lavish yacht parties hosted by the ultra-wealthy and politically connected. Meghan has been linked to such circles through vague photographs and suspicious timelines. In particular, claims emerged that she was once aboard the same yacht as Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein. That alone was enough to spark a digital manhunt for proof.
But Meghan Markle has been accused of being a former yacht girl. They're also claiming that she could have spent time with Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein before meeting Prince Harry. Meghan was invited to join a yacht week in Croatia in 2016. There's evidence that suggests that she went on Epstein's yacht at the same time as Prince Andrew.
But here's where things get strange. Almost every photo or online trace from those alleged events has vanished. Yacht week in Croatia, private parties in the Mediterranean. Pictures that were once shared casually on now deleted blogs or social media accounts are nowhere to be found. And the few images that remain, blurry, unexplained, or conveniently cropped. Insiders claim Meghan was invited to these elite gatherings early in her career, an actress still chasing fame, surrounded by powerful men who could offer it. While nothing has ever been proven, the smoke has never quite cleared, and questions about how Meghan navigated her rise to royalty have only intensified, especially when paired with one unsettling possibility. What if the royal romance wasn't fate at all, but strategy?
Meghan did claim that before dating Harry, she never Googled him, and she said she didn't know much about the royal family.
I know someone who knows the ex-husband who said she had a vision board with Prince Harry on it.
When Meghan Markle claimed she never Googled Prince Harry before meeting him, it sounded innocent, charming even. But behind the scenes, a very different narrative was taking shape. Former friends and even her ex-husband's associates have hinted that Meghan had an interest in royalty long before Harry ever walked into the room. One source even claimed she had a vision board with Prince Harry's face on it. Old blog posts from Meghan's now-defunct lifestyle site, The Tig, included gush-worthy comments about British royalty and hints that suggest she knew far more about the royal world than she let on. The act of being surprised by royal traditions, it didn't quite match the digital breadcrumbs she left behind. And when she began signing handwritten cards as Her Royal Highness, after she and Harry officially stepped down from royal duties, people noticed. Critics weren't just annoyed, they were outraged.
You can't use your HRH, you can't use royal, and you can't be half in and half out, which is what they wanted.
The title Her Royal Highness wasn't hers to use anymore. That status was relinquished when the couple left their official roles and moved to the US. Yet Meghan allegedly continued using it in private communications and gift baskets sent to friends. One card, shown publicly during a podcast, clearly read, "With compliments from Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex," a title she was no longer entitled to.
Zoom in here and it says, "With the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex." That is a title that was stripped from her when she and Harry made their whole racism debacle and left the UK, left their royal duties, and moved to the US to bug all of us. She's using it in private with her friends. That's even weirder than if they were still trying to milk the titles in public. That is just like all the confirmation that I need that this woman is just obsessed with being a royal, that is all this was all about. That she's angry that she screwed the pooch by claiming racism and basically getting kicked out of the family. She just can't give up the HRH titles that quickly. Like, this is literally what she has always wanted.
Commenters online called it delusional. Even longtime supporters started questioning her intentions. You can't have it both ways, they argued. You walked away, so why keep the crown when it's convenient?
A staggering 2/3 of Brits are calling for Harry and Meghan to be stripped of their HRH titles.
Now, the king can end this feud, not by shaking hands with this treacherous little weasel, but by stripping him and his wife of the royal titles that they love to use for commercial gain without doing any of the work.
The idea that Meghan was obsessed with the royal identity she publicly renounced didn't sit well with the British public or the monarchy. And while King Charles has held back from making any decisive move, the next in line isn't so patient. Once hailed as the modernizers of the monarchy, Meghan and Harry were seen by many as the fresh air Buckingham Palace desperately needed. But in just a few years, that narrative completely collapsed. Now the headlines are far from flattering, and the numbers don't lie. A staggering 97% of British respondents in a recent poll said they believe the couple should be stripped of their royal titles for good. That's not a PR problem. That's a full-blown rejection. Their repeated tell-all interviews, the Netflix docuseries, the Bombshell book, and now Meghan's emotional podcast episodes, what once felt like brave honesty now reads as calculated victimhood. Even supporters have started to notice the pattern. Blame everyone else, protect the brand, and always stay in the spotlight. And then came the whispers from the palace. While King Charles has stayed diplomatically silent, insiders say Prince William has no intention of playing nice. He reportedly sees their conduct as more than disrespectful. It's a betrayal of the crown's integrity. According to close sources, he's prepared to take decisive action once he becomes king, including fully stripping the Sussexes of any lingering titles or privileges. The message is simple. If you walk away from the royal family, you don't get to wear the crown when it suits you. The feud is no longer private. It's on the world stage, playing out like a slow-motion disaster. But while the monarchy holds its ground, Meghan and Harry continue launching brands, giving interviews, and pushing their version of the truth.
He blamed pretty much everybody, of course, as usual, other than himself, including his father, the king, who is currently, of course, suffering from cancer.
So ultimately, this whole thing could be resolved through him, not necessarily by intervening, but by stepping aside, allowing the experts to do what is necessary.
Now, she's stuck because she was an actress who became a real princess, who wants to be an actress again, but has to continue to pretend to be a real princess. The job of a royal is, in many ways, to be boring. The job of an actress is to get eyeballs. You can't do both at once, and she's trying to split the baby. She's a classic example of the modern woman, which is she wants to have it all.
He's a duplicitous, self-centered, vile, disloyal hypocrite.
And just when the dust seemed ready to settle, another scandal began to boil. This time, one with legal consequences. As the royal drama played out across headlines, Meghan quietly pivoted, again, this time into the world of luxury branding. Her lifestyle project, originally called American Riviera Orchard, was quietly rebranded as Ever, an attempt to recapture elegance, softness, and reinvention. But almost immediately, things began to fall apart. The logo, nearly identical to a coat of arms from a small town in Spain, sparking accusations of intellectual property theft. The brand name, already being used by multiple small businesses, several of which threatened legal action. And then came the lawsuit that no one saw coming. A woman from Maryland, Robin Patrick, claimed that one of Meghan's bath salt recipes, featured on Netflix, left her with severe burns and open ulcers. The ingredients, including Himalayan salt and arnica, had an adverse reaction with her diabetes. Now, she's threatening to sue Meghan, Netflix, and Archewell for up to $10 million. While Meghan's team brushed it off as an unfortunate reaction, the damage was done. The incident threw a spotlight on the dangers of influencer-backed wellness trends, especially when the products aren't thoroughly tested. What was supposed to be a soft rebrand turned into another media firestorm.
When I was reviewing her website in real time, doing my video, it said coming soon. But then, like 5 minutes later, we see that she put sold out.
Critics argued that Meghan's business ventures weren't about passion or purpose. They were desperate attempts to stay relevant. The bath salt fiasco wasn't just embarrassing, it was symbolic. A perfectly polished product on the outside, but rushed, risky, and legally vulnerable underneath. And just like that, the narrative shifted again, from duchess to influencer, from inspiration to liability. Meghan Markle's public persona, compassionate, relatable, and socially conscious, has been carefully curated. But how genuine is it?
But you're the same.
You're the same.
Like, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
When Meghan first entered the royal spotlight, her down-to-earth charm set her apart. Yet, after marrying Prince Harry, her demeanor seemed to change. More polished, formal, and even refined to match royal expectations. Her accent, too, has been scrutinized, with some suggesting that it has shifted to align with a higher-class image. Was this natural or a calculated transformation? Meghan's high-profile friendships, such as with Serena Williams, are often highlighted in the media, leading some to wonder if these connections serve a more strategic purpose. By aligning herself with influential figures, could Meghan be building a brand that transcends her royal status? During a podcast appearance, Meghan lavished praise on her host, leading some to question whether her compliments were sincere or part of a carefully designed public persona. The moment, seen by some as cringe, raised doubts about the authenticity of her interactions and whether she was consciously shaping her image for mass appeal.
And Meghan's accepting all these compliments. I know I'm great, aren't I?
I've never seen someone that struggles to just give us like one strip of authenticity.
This woman looks to me like a malignant narcissist. This woman has zero self-awareness.
I love that your eyes are sparkling right now. You know, Meghan, how are you today? Which, by the way, I just have to say, yes.
Enjoy them.
I forgot to have fun. You're right. You're right.
That 2-hour podcast that I just had to sit through with Jamie Keen Lima, who is also very cut off from the rest of the world.
Meghan has often framed herself as a victim of the royal family and the media. But critics suggest this victim narrative might be another tool in her strategy to gain sympathy, boost her brand, and maintain relevance. Is she truly a victim? Or is this just part of her calculated rise? As Meghan Markle continued to carve her path, a concerning pattern emerged. People who once supported her were distancing themselves from her. Several high-profile figures connected to Meghan and Prince Harry have left their roles in the couple's circle. Some former employees expressed frustration over what they perceived as the couple's demanding nature and lack of loyalty. In a particularly public incident, Meghan's communications secretary quit after only a short time in her role, citing overwhelming pressure. As Meghan's public profile grew, so did her professional pursuits. Reports suggest that behind the scenes, she was also working hard on building a media empire. From deals with Netflix to public speaking engagements, Meghan appeared laser-focused on shaping her future outside the royal family. Some insiders speculated that this shift in focus might have contributed to her strained relationships with former colleagues, leaving a trail of broken alliances. Meghan's sudden, often unpredictable decisions, such as stepping down from royal duties without prior notice or consulting key advisors, left many questioning her long-term strategy. These abrupt moves left a trail of confusion, with some wondering if Meghan was maneuvering through situations without considering the impact on her relationships or brand. The rapidity of these shifts only added to her public persona as someone who was willing to take drastic steps for the sake of her future. While Meghan Markle's journey post-royal life has had its ups and downs, her future remains a subject of intense interest and speculation. Despite the challenges with her podcast and lifestyle brand, there are still many possibilities for how she might carve out a meaningful and impactful role in the public sphere. Meghan's ongoing efforts to build her personal brand suggest she's not giving up on her quest for relevance. There remains a significant market for content focused on empowerment, women's rights, and social justice, topics that Meghan has consistently championed. If she can refine her approach and offer more authentic, relatable content, she could still capture the attention of a global audience. The question is whether Meghan can move past her missteps and create something that feels genuine rather than forced. As we've seen, Meghan has frequently spoken about issues like gender equality, mental health, and racial justice. Her future may lie in her ability to focus on these causes, fusing her platform with her passion for activism. By aligning herself with causes that are more than just trendy, Meghan could solidify her position as a global advocate. This could take the form of high-profile partnerships, charity work, or even political engagements. Though, as ever, fell short of expectations, it's possible that Meghan could reinvent her brand in a way that resonates more deeply with her audience. A refined brand strategy that emphasizes social impact rather than consumerism could allow her to pivot successfully. Additionally, Meghan's status as a cultural icon, particularly in the United States, might open doors to ventures in fashion, entertainment, or even tech, industries in which the market is more receptive to high-profile collaborations. Meghan Markle's journey is still unfolding, and while the last few years have been filled with challenges, they have also provided valuable lessons. Her public struggles and missteps have made it clear that navigating life as a former royal and global figure is not easy. However, her determination to redefine her identity and the way she impacts the world is apparent. Looking forward, Meghan's path seems to hinge on her ability to balance her ambitions with public perception. Whether she reimagines her personal brand, refines her advocacy work, or takes on entirely new ventures, she still has the potential to carve out a meaningful legacy. Her story, for better or worse, is far from over, and her resilience in the face of scrutiny could be what drives her toward success in the years ahead. Ultimately, Meghan's future is a delicate balance of self-authenticity, strategic reinvention, and continued commitment to the causes she values. It remains to be seen whether she can transform the setbacks of the past into a foundation for a lasting and impactful future. What do you think about her journey so far? Sound off in the comments, and subscribe while you're there.